Okay, hello everybody. In this tutorial, I'm going to be walking through the steps that I took to do the stabbing or the head stabbing scene in my latest short film, The Good Luck Charm. So this is the scene I'm talking about. It's just essentially one actress stabbing another actress, okay? So let's jump right into it. For this special effect, what I did was I had essentially just the actress stabbing a book. So if we just scrub through, we can see that the actress is just stabbing a book and she's sitting on top of the pillow. And that's actually the raw footage. Now, I want you to note that in the raw footage, it's on a mounted camera. Even though the final product does have a camera movement, it's just a digital camera movement to further sell the illusion of the stabbing. If you do the mounted camera, you won't have to do any motion tracking, and this whole process will be a lot easier. Okay, so we've got this footage of this actress stabbing down. Now what we need to do is start to bring in the other actress. So I got a still shots of her, and I just freeze framed her feet and her upper body. And we sort of end up with something like this. Now that's sort of getting close to what we want. We got the head stabbing business. However, we have some ghosting. So essentially what we have to do is take the stabbing actress and move her leg and her arm forward into the foreground instead of being in the background. Now the way we're going to do that is duplicate the footage, and we're going to rotoscope these areas. Essentially what that means is masking these areas, telling the computer just take these parts and bring them forward. Now the way to rotoscope is you want to select the footage, and you want to hit the roto brush tool up here, okay? So you have your layer selected. This is another layer that I put on top of everything, and you can just double click the screen. And then this brings you into the rotoing type window. Now the roto, the way it works, it's like auto masking. So what you got to do is tell it what you want to be in the scene and what do you want not to be in the scene. Now you have this green circle with a plus sign. So whenever you draw on or holding the button, it's going to create sort of this green type paint. And it's going to interpret that and say, okay, he wants this stuff in the screen or in the scene. Now, if you don't want something in the screen, you gotta hold the Alt button and draw red on anything that you want to be removed. Okay, so anything in the background for this instant. And then it does that for you. Now, if you want to be precise about it and you want to make the selector tool smaller or bigger, hold the Control button, press down on the left key and move your mouse left and right, and you can change the size of the selector. Okay, so then you're done with that. You can do feathering options within the actual roto tool itself. So the roto brush, you can select under matte, you can choke it, feather it, smooth it, and these are all good options to play with to get the finesse that you want. So what we've done is we've got the original layer below. So we've got the original layer below, we've put the laying down actress above that, and then we've got the finesse of the roto in front of that. Now we still have some problems here with the roto on top. We've got her feet are in the foreground, and same with her hand is crushing the foreground and along with your hair. So the easiest way to do that is just go through and manually mask with the pen tool. So you select the pen tool and just go through and mask the areas. Now I've already done that, and it ends up looking something like this. So this is sort of what your final product looks like. Now this is looking actually really good thus far. I was really happy with the product at this point, knowing that I was going to crush the blacks. So these little imperfections of her leg being really coarse here and all that, I wasn't too concerned about. There were some things I didn't like though near the end of the video when she's actually done the stabbing. At this point, when she's done the stabbing, you can see that there is a shadow issue. In the complete scene, that you can see the light orientation is behind the camera to the right because it's casting shadows behind the actors out towards the left. So there should be some type of shadow in this area here along the laying down actress's face. So what I ended up doing was just creating a black solid, masking around where I thought the shadow would be, and just feather the shit out of it. So we ended up with something like that. So you can see that there is slight darkening along the face there. Also, something else I did not like, which I did not notice on shoot day or filming day, which was totally my fault, was this actress's back area is exposed. So you get sort of like a crack, a butt crack type thing going on here. I'm not happy with that. I didn't want that in the final film. So what I did was added an adjustment layer. And in that adjustment layer, I just added a G-blur and increased it up, masked around that area, and just feathered the shit out of it, further hiding it. And I knew I was going to crush the black, so this would be hid even further. So now we're left with this final sort of the stabbing happening, and it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks now. Some things that we need to consider though is the darkening of some areas which I wanted to do, which I just ended up doing with solids and blurring out the lower half just a little bit. Now, speaking to the actual final footage over here, there are some things to note was the camera move. Now, the way I did the camera move is I grabbed all the layers and I went layer, pre-compose. And what that's going to do is put it all together as one, sort of like a mini pre-render. And you end up with something like this. And what I ended up doing was increasing the size. So you just hit the layer, hit T, not T, S. And I brought the size up to 142 and then just hit the layer again, hit P, make some key points or keyframes, and just change the position of the actual entire film or entire scene, moving the composition around, which ended up altering the movement, giving it a fake camera movement. Also, the thing that further sold it is I added a color correction to the entire short film in its entirety, and also adding establishing shots before and after, further selling the footage. So before, for an establishing shot, we had one of the actresses come down, and it shows the scene of her getting on top of the actress. So this scene here, she's getting on top of her, so we are establishing the orientations of the actor within the story. Then we have some dialogue, and then we have the stabbing. After the stabbing, I have this scene where we have this knife, and she lets go, and the girl's head just moves to the side, suggesting she's dead with the knife impaled in her head. The way I pull that, it's 100% just old school special effects. It's just, I bought two knives, one for the actual stabbing. The other knife, I cut it in half with just a metal cutter, and I just added a pad to it, put it on the girl's head, just secured it to that position, and that's the special effect. So there's no actual digital special effect there to make this look like what it is. Okay? So hopefully you enjoyed that. I am planning to go into further detail on how to use the roto brush and masking tools and just adding different assets into a composition for layering like we did in this. But this was just a brief outline of the steps I took to make the stabbing scene and the good luck charm. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I'll be sure to answer them. Thanks. Bye.